All right, all right. Welcome in, guys. Appreciate you guys joining me as always here on Mount Polumbus Speaks. It's a Friday night. I'm a loser. I got nothing to do. And so I'm going to take 15 or 20 minutes to hang out with you guys. This is not going to be a long one tonight. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the Four Nations and what an incredible product that was and how every other league is going to be on notice now. So before I get into it, though, I do want to take a quick second to, number one, say thank you to you guys for listening to Mount Polumbus Speaks, for making this possible for me to have sponsors. And thank you to my title sponsor, Safeway, who's been with me for about 6 years now, both in a charity aspect and a business aspect. Working with ovarian cancer awareness, and they're the title sponsor of Mount Polumbus Speaks. Guys, if you've not downloaded the Safeway app, I'm telling you, you guys are missing out. You're making your life more difficult because the Safeway app is incredible. You can download that on your phone, save your orders. I do that. I order it again the next week. It takes me 5 minutes to add on whatever new items I want. Safeway is going to handle the rest. They're going to get it delivered directly to your door. They've got fresh foods. They've got local flavors. They've got fruit cut in store every single day, and I'm telling you, there's a huge difference. So I appreciate Safeway for everything they do. Make sure you download that Safeway app. Also, quick shout out to my buddy over at Ascend Barbershop. Alfred Castro is my barber. That's him right there. Anthony is the other barber that I work with every now and then over there. That's him right there. Been working over there for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now. It's a luxury barber experience that is unlike any other. If you're in the Parker area, they're the only people I trust to cut my hair and cut my beard. You will not regret going over there. Okay. Let's take a few minutes here to just give a salute, a salute to Team USA, a salute to the NHL for coming up with an incredible product, and I guess a tip of the cap to Team Canada, even though I don't want to do it. I'll give them a tip of the cap for winning the championship there and walking away with the first ever Four Nations Cup trophy. I got to be honest. I didn't know what to expect out of this thing. This was an event that literally did not exist as of last year. And when I first started watching it, I didn't know if it was going to be cool or not. I didn't know if the players were going to care or not. And the TV numbers, the viewership, all of it has been an outright just complete surpassing every expectation you could have possibly had. That game last night that I hope you watched, because if you didn't watch it, I think you missed out on a once-in-a-lifetime sporting event. I think that's one of those events that you're going to remember the rest of your life, and the NHL will try to replicate it, but they might not ever be able to. I hope they can, but I don't know if they'll ever be able to replicate that or not. There were 9.3 million viewers here in America that watched that game. There were another 4.4 million viewers that watched it over there in Canada. If you take across the United States and Canada and whatever numbers they're pulling from, there were 16.1 million viewers that watched that game between Team USA and Team Canada last night because it was freaking awesome. It was freaking amazing. And that now makes that game single-handedly the most watched non-Olympic hockey game in history ever. On record, that was the most watched hockey game ever outside of the Olympics. So every other league is now on notice. NBA, Adam Silver on notice. NFL on notice. MLB on notice. Good luck competing with that. And I don't know if this is something that the NHL can do every year. Obviously, next year we've got the Olympics, and they won't be able to do it then. But I tell you what, the Olympics are going to be on fire because of this. I mean, can you imagine when Team USA faces off against Team Canada in the Olympics next year? And I do think that the Team USA roster is going to look a little bit different by the time we get to the Olympics. The bottom six of that hockey team, apparently they weren't overly satisfied with. They're probably going to make some changes there. But when you take this kind of ragtag group of Americans, young hockey players, the Kachuk brothers and Slavin, who's a local boy here from Colorado, and you see what they were able to do going up against the Avengers over there from Team Canada with Sid and Nathan and Kale and everybody else. going up against the Avengers over there with Team Canada, with Sid and Nathan and Cale McCarr and everybody else that they had. For this group, this was like the equivalent of watching the Mighty Ducks go up against Team Iceland. That's what the mismatch was supposed to be. And for them to go out there and put out the performance that they had, it was lights out. Could not have been more engaging. Frickin' Nathan McKinnon. I hated him last night. I'm back to loving him today. Of course, Nate Dogg had to come out on fire and launch that first goal, who made it through about 15 different bodies. I don't know how the heck Nathan McKinnon was able to slice that shot through all the bodies that were in front of that net, and I'm not just talking about in front of the crease. There seriously felt like there was 10 different guys that puck somehow weaved its way through, and Hellebuck, he had no chance in hell of stopping that thing. He never even saw the puck. Hellebuck was phenomenal the entire tournament. But what they were able to do, man, just salute. Kachuk fan for life. Salute. Team USA, salute. It was a perfect storm for everything to make one of the most entertaining sporting events I've ever watched in my life. And that's not hyperbole. And according to the ratings, people agreed with me. I think that, yes, a huge part of it had to do with political stuff that was going on. A huge part of it had to do with the booing of the national anthem, both in Canada, here and in America. A huge part of it had to do with the 3 fights within 8 seconds in the first game, both Kachuk brothers going at it, and then another one right after it. It was just tension that was mounting and brewing for guys that had no reason to go out there and lay it on the line. We had Jack Drury on the show on PhD, Polumbus, Hastings, and DMAC yesterday, and I asked Jack, are you surprised at all by the care factor of these guys? And I thought he gave a relatively honest answer. He said, honestly, I didn't know what to expect until I saw them out there on the ice. And he was kind of wondering, would guys be babying it a little bit? Would they be trying to protect themselves? But because there was this pride in your country, it turned into this event that the NBA will not be able to match, that the NFL obviously will never be able to match, the MLB will never be able to match. And quite frankly, I don't know if the NHL will ever be able to match it again. This literally might have been one of those once-in-a-lifetime sporting events. I guess after the Olympics, I heard that the NHL is going to try to do this again, but they're actually going to expand it. So I don't know what that means, if there's going to be 8 teams or whatever, but they're going to expand it and they're going to go for it again. Now, it'll probably be pretty good, but I don't know if it'll have the perfect storm of political things and everything else that was going on to make these 2 games so fascinating between Team USA and Team Canada. And the game itself was very similar to the first game that Team USA went up against Canada. They got down 1-0. They fought back. They got it even 1-1. They went up 2-1. Canada ends up tying it up, unfortunately, in this game. And then you got to the third period, and it was a freaking onslaught offensively from Canada. For the last 30 seconds of the third, I'm just crossing my fingers and closing my eyes. I'm like, please don't score a goal. Somehow Hellebuck just plays great hockey, gets us to overtime, and then freaking Jordan Bennington. Goodness gracious, as if Avs fans needed any more reason to hate Jordan Bennington. That dude was lights out. Dadgummit, he was lights out. In overtime, USA came out, whatever onslaught Canada had at the end of the third and in the last 30 seconds, Team USA had that times 3 at the beginning of overtime, and it was shot after shot after shot after shot on net of really good looks and good opportunities. And I don't know about you guys, but after about the 5th or 6th shot on net in overtime, when Team USA didn't score, I just started to get this sick feeling in my stomach, and I was just like, ugh. Canada's probably just going to get something stupid. If one of these can't land, then Canada's bound to just get a breakaway or whatever, and they're going to sneak one in, and lo and behold, it's what they did. Cale McCarr got a very good look on net there in overtime. He had a chance at the game winner. Hellebuck grabbed that thing with his glove. I think it slipped off of Cale's stick there a little bit at the very end. Probably wasn't as clean of a shot as he wanted. But what's going to be fascinating to me is the ripple effect. Number one, from just a pure interest in the NHL. What will happen after this? It's the most viewed game ever outside of the Olympics. So when the NHL comes back, will there be more fans watching? And my gut tells me that maybe in the first week or so, there'll be more people watching. But over time, it probably goes back to the same niche audience that it always is. And I know that Hockey Fan always gets offended when you hear that because Hockey Fan is so passionate. But the reality is it is a niche audience compared to the NBA. It is a niche audience, especially in comparison to the NFL. And it probably goes downhill a little bit. I hope that it's got a good effect. I hope it's got a great effect on youth hockey because these type of events have got that ability down the road to really impact generations. So we'll see what the NHL is able to do. I don't think they can do it every year when the Olympics aren't there because it might lose its luster a little bit. But maybe they go every other year with a traditional all-star format. They go to this, then they got the Olympics, whatever. I don't know. I don't have the answers. But I know this. Adam Silver had to be peeing down his pants. I mean, technically speaking, the first matchup between Team USA and Team Canada, it drew 4.4 million viewers here in America. And the NBA All-Star Game drew 4.9. So technically speaking, this broken, pathetic NBA product, it actually outdrew the first game, but not the second game. It wasn't even close in the second game. And the momentum that the NHL is going to have coming out of this thing, Adam Silver's got to be looking at his product, just be like, what do I do? What do I do? I tried to do some weird things this year. We had games to 40. We had smaller teams, and that didn't work. And it's LeBron James's fault. It is. When LeBron James came into the league, which really wasn't that long ago in the big picture, his rookie year, he faced off against Kobe Bryant in the All-Star game, and Kobe Bryant told him, I'm going to lock your ass down. And he did. He said, you're not going to score a point on me. And it was a highly competitive event. And ever since LeBron became king of the NBA, the All-Star game just became a joke. And the cat's out of the bag, and there's no putting it back. The NBA will never have a competitive product again. And I would bet that Adam Silver tries to copy this format to some degree, whether it's Team USA versus the world, whether you take Europe and you put it into regions and you try to come up with 4 different teams, whatever you do. I bet Adam Silver tries to copy it, but it ain't going to work because NBA players, they're not hockey players. Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Cale Makar, these guys are the best in the world at what they do, putting their bodies on the line. And there were some serious injuries. Team USA had a couple of them. We had one guy in the hospital for multiple days. Matthew Tkachuk, we don't really know what happened to him, but he couldn't play in that game, in the last game there. Hockey's always very vague with their injuries. They just say upper body, lower body, so you really don't know what's going on. But these guys are putting it all out there, and you'll never see that from NBA guys. So you might try to copy the formula, but it's not going to work. And the NFL, that's gone. They gave up on the All-Star game altogether. The MLB, you got a pitcher, you got a batter. Cool. Let's see how competitive we can make that thing. They ain't going to be able to they ain't going to be able to try to match anything like this. So the NHL just created a product out of thin air that became a once-in-a-lifetime viewing experience that we're all going to remember the rest of our lives. And I just say thanks. Thanks to the NHL. Thanks to Team USA for putting it all on the line. When the game was over, I was disappointed, but I mainly was just thinking, what a freaking blast that was. What a blast it was, man. I mean, that was a ride. That was a roller coaster, and I enjoyed every single second of it. So I guess I'll end it with this. I'm grateful to the hockey players for putting it all out on the line like that. Thank God Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Javonte, our Avalanche that were playing for Team Canada, they're all coming back healthy without any significant injuries. And I do think the NHL, I mean, God, what would they do if Sidney Crosby got hurt? What would they do if Nathan McKinnon had a season-ending injury because of one of these games? They'd probably never play it again. So thank God those guys came back healthy. I guess tip of the cap to Canada for winning at their sport. Although, boy, Team USA with that ragtag group, they made it interesting. I'm going to keep this short tonight because it is Friday night. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. The weather's supposed to clear up on us. We should have some nice days the next couple days. Again, shout out to Safeway. Again, if you've not downloaded their app, you're missing out. You're missing out on money that you're going to save, convenience, ordering online, letting Safeway take care of the rest. Just order online. They'll deliver it directly to your door. Skip the delivery service apps because you're going to save much more money ordering directly on that Safeway app. And shout out to Ascend Barbershop. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Mount Polumbus Speaks. If you guys want to help my channel grow, I'd be very, very grateful. Head on over to my YouTube, hit subscribe, and maybe like and comment on this video because that does wonders for the algorithm. Also, you guys want to subscribe over there on YouTube because I put out content that lives uniquely there. I don't always live stream, and if you want to not miss out on any of my content, you're going to want to go subscribe over there. So hit that link in my bio on Twitter, head on over to YouTube and subscribe. It'll take you a total of 5 seconds. Okay, I love you guys. I'll be back with you soon. Have a great weekend. Mount Polumbus is